Welcome back to the D4 channel, also in audio edition. Oh no, you don't have to wave your hands because they can't see you.
Oh, they can't see me.
They can't see you. This will just be audio. I think what we're gonna do, because depending on how high the news count is, and also how good our attention span is when we're hanging out. We will probably just do these mostly in audio because, to be honest, you seen my $180 setup room.
Yeah, it's quite a lot to do for like a under 10-minute like news segment.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier for me just to do it in the audio form. So I'm sorry if you guys are used to seeing our charming faces, but don't worry, Star Wars Outlaws is coming soon, and also the skit I told you guys I'm working on is almost finished. I just gotta run through some of the effects, but I think it's gonna be hilarious. So you guys will see our pretty mugs on that. So please stay tuned because I think you guys are very much going to enjoy that stuff.
Stay tuned.
But what they gotta do before we start our news cycle for today?
You gotta like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you hit it so that you could see our skit. Please, we put a lot of time into that, and you already know the editing's gonna be good, so come on.
Spoiler alert, this other half of D4, she is brilliant at facial comedy. Like, when I tell you she's supposed to be in Parks and Rec or The Office, like, I'm not joking. Her face is literally meme-worthy.
It's natural, so it doesn't come across as fake, because I don't know what I'm doing, so it works, I guess.
It's literally brilliant, so I can't wait for you guys to see it, because you guys are going to love it. But without further ado, let's get to the news. Woo! And the first thing we're going to talk about, of course, is the big news. Acolyte is canceled.
Oh my god.
So how ironic it is that they try to cancel us for not being woke enough, for not liking this show, but in turn Disney canceled them because this show tanked their viewership and their Disney subscriptions.
Like, the amount of people I saw like saying they like canceled their whole Disney Plus just because of this show was insane.
Like, the fact that, because this is not like a movie where like you pay a movie ticket price and you go into the movie's bad, but you already paid the ticket price, so it counts to the box office. This is not like that. You're already paying for Disney Plus, but if you lose subscriptions because of a TV show or shows, that's bad for business when your whole model is, I need to keep these people subscribed to Disney Plus for as long as possible, if not forever. And this one show, who most people probably honestly watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes and realized this thing is jank, and just watch YouTube videos of people hating on this show.
Yeah, because sometimes they still get views because of hate watching. There's a lot of people who hate it, but they still watch it. But this was not even hate watch. Most people, if they did not like it, they just went on YouTube and saw someone's review of it rather than continuing. Sometimes, like, it's not very common for that to happen. Usually, it still gets viewers, and even something a lot of people hate still gets another season.
Right.
So this was really surprising.
As someone who stayed on Walking Dead till the very end, everybody was, and I was one of them, hated that show. But because I watched so many seasons, I'm like, I'm gonna be here every week.
Yeah, I'll be here every week.
I'll be here every week and watch this show. I don't like it. I don't like how they run it, but I'm here. So that's usually kind of how it runs sometimes. But and let me get this straight, so you guys are not just thinking we're just hating on the Acolyte. Because as much as we're happy that bad writing is not happening, we are not happy that A, Star Wars show got canceled, and B, that this show was bad in the first place.
Exactly.
We are one of the first people, if not y'all, to be like, when we saw the trailers, when we heard what the show was about, which was supposed to be about the Sith in hiding, plotting, 100 years before Palpatine did his thing, we were all hoping this show was going to be a banger. We heard the phrase Andor, but with Jedi and Sith. That's what we kept hearing. It's Andor, but with the mystical elements. So we came to this show thinking this is going to be the best Star Wars show ever. And we are so disappointed. Not only this show was that bad that it got canceled, but that we'll probably maybe not see these characters again unless it's a comic or book form. Because, like, as much as you guys hate this show, it's still canon.
it is still canon until they say otherwise.
Unless they put it in Legends, everything that happened in this show is canon. So even if they don't continue on the name Acolyte Season 2, I'm pretty, because Dark Plagueis is in there. There's some big characters in there that I'm sure eventually they want to explore what goes on with them between that and the Phantom Menace. I
just hope that, like, it's just upsetting because I don't know his name, but Kamir's actor is very good.
He's very good in it.
And it's sad that he's, like, in a show that's now canceled, so, you know. I don't know. It's just a shame, really. That's all I have to say.
It really is, yeah.
Because he really did a great job.
That's a good point, because I feel bad for the people who were really good in this show. Like, even though Soul's character was terrible, the guy who plays him, and also the guy in Squid Games, learned English for this role, by the way. Like, his first English role was this.
Yeah, he did an excellent job in his acting. Like,
right, like, for what he was told. For
learning this, like, that quickly, he did really great.
Like, for what they tell him to do, I think he knocked it out of the park for what they told him he was supposed to be and do.
Yeah.
And Kamir, obviously, the show was a low light, but he's the highlight of the show by far. And later, if they focus on him more, I thought the show was going to be a little more interesting, but obviously then they sticked on the twins, who did not care about them at all. And
yeah, I just felt like no attachment whatsoever, and I guess that was kind of its biggest problem, is that a lot of people were not attached to the characters whatsoever.
No, we didn't like well, people liked Yord, but for ironic reasons, because he's a stickler of the rules. People did not like Vernestra at all, for good reason. She was a straight up, and if you read the books, you loved her from the books. So this was like, I don't even care if it's 100 years and people change. Don't give me that BS. She as a Jedi, you're not gonna change from being. And I still haven't read her complete story yet, up until the High Republic. But I know she's not that much of a op in the books as she is. Like, to frame your fellow Jedi, lie about it, and then you have the audacity to go to Master Yoda and be like, so here's what I just did.
Yeah, no. I don't know how they could change a character that much, and then the whole thing with Yoda not even noticing, when even later on in his life he noticed like everything. Minor thing.
He literally knows everything.
It was just a lot of things.
It's a lot of bad writing.
It was very upsetting.
Yeah, and so I'm imagining how Leslie Headland's feeling right now about this. Like, her one and only Star Wars show got because let's put it in perspective. Every show that's come out not got canceled. I'm gonna give you an example. Boba Fett. We know Boba Fett's not getting a season 2. We know this, but it never came out and said it's canceled. It's just not getting a season 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is a limited series, so we didn't expect a season 2, but people want a season 2. But it's probably not gonna get a season 2. Not canceled. Mando obviously is Mando. Andor is gonna finish. Ahsoka's Ahsoka, and so on and so on. This is the only show that said outright, they could have just said nothing. Like, they could have just left it alone and never do Acolyte again. But they made it a point to come out and say, we're canceling this show. That's how bad it was for the fandom, and that's how bad it is for their
listen, the fandom margin. Is always fighting, but this was one of the it had flames and it was getting fanned.
The fiery oceans of Norway.
Exactly. and like Norway.
It's funny because on the internet, when the show just ended or before it ended, it was trending on Twitter. Renew the Acolyte.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that. I do.
So don't get it twisted. Like, as much as a lot of people didn't like this show, there's a good chunk of the fan base that really,
quite a lot actually.
Yeah, for it to trend on Twitter, there's quite a lot. I feel bad for those people because they liked this show. They saw something in this show that we clearly could not see.
Yeah, I think it's probably like a 60-40. Like, I think 60 did not like, 40 did like, right, what it looks like.
Yeah, but the 60, not only was the 60 the loudest, as obviously hate is on the internet the loudest, but most importantly is, as much as people didn't like the Boba Fett, and some people still didn't like Obi-Wan, even though I loved Obi-Wan, those shows did not make people cancel their Disney Plus. And I think,
no, because because there's a lot of time where people be like, I'm disappointed in this. I didn't really like this. This is kind of mid. But they never said they were gonna cancel.
No, and I think that's the main reason why Disney said I'm canceling this show.
Yes.
So maybe that's a way of saying the show's never coming back. Come back to Disney Plus. We got other cool stuff. Because like if this show bombed critically, but Disney Plus was either getting more subscriptions or stayed the same, they would not say anything about this show. But the fact that this show bombed their profit margins, they said, no, we got to cancel this show. Which sucks for people who like this show, but it is what it is. Write a better show.
It is what it is, because there's just some things you cannot argue with. There may be good things, but there was just a lot of things that just was not done as well as it could have been.
No.
Really.
It really could have. And so I hope this is a lesson to not only Disney, but Lucasfilm as well. If you're going to do these shows, especially if you're going to... Again, everything is canon, so you got to make it fit and make sense in the larger essence of Star Wars. Please vet these storylines. Do the Andor. Make sure it's as airtight as possible. So the only thing people could complain about is little nitpicks that they have on. Like me saying Andor's not Star Wars enough is a nitpick because it's a brilliant show, but it's not alien enough. That's a nitpick. It has nothing to do with the story, the writing, or the characters. It's just like, give me more aliens. Give me more this. Give me more mystical stuff with the Force. It's a nitpick. It's not really tearing the thread of if it makes sense.
It's not breaking canon over here.
Breaking canon with Ki-Adi-Mundi and Force Jesuses and all that stuff. So just focus on the writing of the shows and the lore. That's why I'm really hoping Skeleton Crew, like, I hope it's a good written show. I hope the characters are lovable, and I hope that it makes sense in the larger galaxy as a whole. Because I don't think Disney or Lucasfilm could run through another Acolyte. Otherwise, Star Wars is in trouble.
Yeah, fingers crossed that, that is at least, pretty decent and everything.
Right. So you guys let us know what you think of the cancellation of the Acolyte. Are you happy to see the show's never going to come in again? Or are you one of the fans that are very sad that you won't see your favorite characters in media maybe ever again? You let us know in the comments below. But let's get to another controversial character and another bad show. Let's get to Boba Fett, more specifically Tamora Morrison. Now, I wish I could cite my sources better, but I remember reading somewhere that he said that he did not want to be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Now, that could have been misquoting him. Yeah. But now he's saying he was supposed to be he said season 4. He was supposed to show up in season 4, but no one has called him. And I don't think he's in Mando and Grogu either, because Mando and Grogu's the next thing. So I think this is what it is, D4. I think his show wasn't received the best.
Oh, absolutely not.
His show wasn't received the best. And like every Star Wars, I watch it again, sometimes. And it does get a little better when I watch it, but not by much. And it's mostly because these people keep promising something they don't give us. They promise Acolyte, a dark side's focused story with the Sith in hiding, plotting, Jedi intrigue, the Jedi at their peak. Didn't get that. Boba Fett, we were promised the Goodfellas, but in space. The GTA, but in space. We did not get that.
We got a crippled old man in his tank.
We literally just got a crippled old man in his tank coming to his Jesus moment. Like, if you read anything or if you play anything with Boba Fett in it, he's a stone-hard bounty hunting killer. But in this one, he forgetting every man that come across him that tries to murk him, whether it's in his sleep in his bathtub or on the streets of Tatooine. Fennec Shan was more gangster than him. We did not get that gangster thing we were promised.
Yeah, that's just the thing. It's like, you just give a better synopsis and maybe it would be better received.
Right. Like, if they told us this is about Boba Fett clawing back from the jaws of death and saying he needs to be a better person.
Like, at least we could kind of see what we're getting.
Right, exactly. But the fact that not only did at the end of, was it Mando season 2 when Luke saved Grogu, and that end credit scene where he just walks in like a G, shoots Bib Fortuna in the chest, takes him off the throne, and just sits there with that gangster movie playing, and it ends with them drinking wine, or spotska as they call it, on the chair of Jabba's throne, and it ends there. We're like, damn, what was that about?
That was definitely misleading.
And now it's like, ride me like a banta.
Ride me like a banta.
Like, my name is Boba Fett. Like, every chance he got in the Power Ranger bicycle children.
The Power Ranger scene.
Like, this whole show had so much good things in it. Like, this is the first time we saw Black Chrysanthemum from the Black Wookiee from the comics that we saw. That was a cool reveal. We saw him riding a Rancor, which was awesome. Like, him fighting the streets with Mando, that's awesome. Like, there's a lot of cool moments in this show, but it wasn't the gangster show we were promised. And the fact that they made an episode with Mando in it doing more gangster stuff than him, I think he's salty about that being the best episode of his own show.
That was the most talked about episode, the episode people enjoyed the most, and it wasn't even who was the title.
The Book of Boba Fett.
It was a damn TV show.
People called it Mando 2.5 season.
Because it was. And that's a shame because it really shouldn't have been.
And that's why, I remember his comment. He said, just like how Mando took a whole episode of my own show, I want to get an episode of his show.
I mean, that's fair. Like,
I think that's fair.
I think that's completely fair.
But I don't think that, for one, Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau gonna do it.
No.
And two, like, if people really think about it, if you guys really think about it, Mando is Boba Fett. Jon Favreau mostly Jon Favreau, but they both wanted to do a Boba Fett like show. For some reason, Disney said no because I think they had plans to make him a movie, which never happened. So they said, you can't do that, but you could do a Mandalorian. So they if you really look at Mando, they put all the essence of what Boba is in the comics and games and stuff and media. They put it all in Mando, because the way Mando acts and when he barely talks, he's a bounty hunter, he takes names. Sure, he's protecting Grogu, but like, he's a badass. He is what Boba Fett is, and then Boba Fett is what Mando would have been if Boba Fett was Mando.
You see, they had to do something. They were so eager to write it, but they didn't have the chance, so they had to put it somewhere.
And then when they had a chance to use Boba Fett, they're like, well, damn, Mando already kind of is Boba Fett. Yep. So how do we people love Boba Fett, but how do we make him different? Well, make him nicer. I'm like, bro, this is Boba Fett, the son of Jango. No.
Oh my god, you could have made him meaner.
You could have made him meaner. You could have made it, okay, like, if Mando had some kind of code of honor, and this is the way, make Boba Fett pure scum and villain.
Like, I don't even care no more.
Exactly. I almost died on Jabba's sail barge. I'm about to be even meaner than usual to survive in this war-torn galaxy. You could have went that route, but they went to the whole, it's okay, I forgive you. And Fennec's like, bro, like, we're gangsters.
Such a odd choice.
We run the hut cart. Like, what are we doing?
He was not built to be a gangster. This was not supposed to be no gangster show.
No, and even at the end of the show, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to be a bounty hunter. I'm like, so you did all this for basically nothing?
It was literally just an extended vacation.
A vacation we didn't need.
A vacation from bounty hunting. Like, really, that's it.
I will appreciate though. They gave us a lot of backstory in the Tusken Raiders. Like,
yeah, the Tusken Raider thing was peak. That was super good.
Like, we learned more about the Tusken Raiders than any media we've ever had in Star Wars.
Yeah, I appreciate it because we've seen it from every media. They're literally just a bunch of They bad.
They when Anakin murdered all of them, we did not feel bad. Now we feel a little bit bad knowing how their culture functions. They're hard people, but at least we know they're not mindless monsters.
Exactly.
So I will always give Boba Fett the credit for what they did there. But I do feel like, and the Mando and Grogu movie, that movie, I don't know how long the movie's going to be. But I'm going to assume, and I don't know what the plot exactly, I know it's going to have to do something with Thrawn, and they're going to need help. He has to be in the movie.
I would think so with how much he, you know, he should have, importance. He showed up.
Right, he's Mandalorian, technically, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and if Mando needs help, that's one of the so-called friends he has in the galaxy. So
I mean, come on, it's a movie. You know, usually they put the whole shebang in
there.
there.
You gotta put, come on. Can you imagine like, despite people not liking Book of Boba Fett, people will still lose their minds. You see Boba Fett flying around in that movie doing Boba Fett like things. Don't get it twisted.
Just make it in a theater.
Yeah, just
make it an experience.
Yeah, make it an experience. Just throw them in there because people don't get it twisted. People will lose their absolute minds if Boba Fett's come in there and be cool. Just like how they lost his mind when he came in that episode of Mando when he got injured. When we finally realized he was alive and he came back and kicked butt. Yeah. People loved that episode when he was using his knee rockets and killing those stormtroopers and bashing them on the head with this
Let's
stick.
just make him cool again.
Just make him cool again.
Mm-hmm. And what perfect time than in a movie.
And to make him cool, make him talk less, fight more.
Perfect.
That's all
perfect
you need
formula.
To do. Perfect formula. Talk less. So I understand Tamora Morrison. He's in a very salty place, I think, where because even he says before he wants Boba Fett to be that mean bounty hunter that people know him to be.
Yeah.
So I think that for one, whether he's in Mando season 4 or the Mando, he's in one of those. They're not gonna abandon him. He's in one of, even though they might not do Book of Boba Fett 2 again, he's coming back in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, he's not just gonna disappear from the face of the earth. Yeah, I would hope
they're not gonna act like him because he's still a popular character. So I'm really hoping, and plus I love Tamora Morrison. Like, again, he's been in Star Wars since Attack of the Clones, like 2002. Wow. We're in 2024, and that stuff's gonna be 2025, 2020. He's gonna be in Star Wars for a generation.
Keep it going.
Keep it going. So I really hope that he comes back to Star Wars, and you guys let me know what you guys think of Tamora Morrison maybe not being in Mando and Grogu. You let us know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But that's all the news we really have for you on the Star Wars front. It's kind of slow news, but by next week it's going to pick up a lot. Like, not only will our skit be out, but Star Wars Outlaws will also be out. So follow me on Papa She Palpatine 66 Twitch.com. They'll have the links in the description below so you guys could follow me.
So yeah, make sure you follow so you can stay tuned.
Yes.
Keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out. And I will also put some of the VODs on this channel. Because I realize the whole stream VOD doesn't do very well.
Yeah, definitely maybe like a more condensed version.
Probably funny moments.
Yeah, kind of how like most YouTubers do it.
Right.
If you guys want to leave something saying what you would be interested in, or like what kind of format you want to see, hey, leave a comment.
Yeah, please do leave a comment.
What kind of game like
moment I guess you want me to capture or something like that.
Yeah, just how you enjoy your video game in condensed videos.
So please let me know. I'll probably study a lot more channels that are more accustomed to doing video game stuff like that. Like RDC World are pretty good at doing that too. So definitely keep tuned to that. We got a lot of stuff coming on the D4 channel, and don't worry, you will see our pretty faces again all over this channel. I know you miss it, but you get to just hear our sexy droid voices today, so that's okay. So like and subscribe to the D4 channel for all your Star Wars entertainment news from this side of the YouTube galaxy. And as always, from me and my partner, may the Force be with you, and please try not to get canceled.
Peace.